Just a little taste.
Say it.
Yes.
Yes.
What is a digital detox?
We're gonna unplug from our phones for the weekend.
Connect with nature and each other.
A sex vacation.
Definitely not that.
Nice, right?
It's really remote.
That's the magic of this area. Come out here to be who you really are.
Shut up!
Did you hear that?
Oh, no.
We get blackouts occasionally.
Where's the best place I can get reception?
Out in front of the restaurant.
Okay.
She's pretty hot. You must have a big one to be a bald guy and be with her.
Let's do shots.
Really?
Yeah. We want to get back
know
to our
that guy.
rental, but we can't drive.
I'll do it.
Who's this?
This is Lulu.
Hi, Lulu.
She doesn't talk. She's a raccoon.
You know who that is?
Raccoon?
Predator drones. Very
No, the
dangerous.
one, the redheaded rube.
You don't own me!
She looks familiar.
She is, isn't she?
Yeah, we are.
No.
Taking a look.
We don't have a... How are you not freaked out by any of this? This is code red, man. Code red. Left foot. Okay, hold on, honey.
There we are. Do you reckon? Do you, the guys in the booth? See, you guys are too young, probably.
Why don't you just tell us?
Well, it's sometimes fun guessing games. Any last chance to figure out who that girl is? Leah Thompson, Martin McFly's mom. I'm assuming they cast her in this for her role in Red Dawn. Whereupon we are attacked by the Russians, and only high school kids can save us. Nobody, nothing. She was like the queen of '80s movies. Ugh. What a bad way to start the show. But yeah, that's Leah Thompson. Still looks wonderful.
Great, actually. This looks really
What a good idea, right?
You're the only people that have been talking about this movie since my grandmother last talked to me about it, because she just likes to say things that she can remember. But
You're just bragging that your grandma's still alive and mine's not.
I am.
Yeah.
That's my humble brag. She's 96.
Oh my God.
But no, the movies where people can find movies these days, like Hulu and Amazon and all that stuff. And yeah, if you're a Leah Thompson fan, you should see that movie. And Matt and Eva are great in it. And Eva's got a brand new movie. I can promote her movie a little bit, which is pretty cool, called Flamin' Hot, which is the story of a janitor who invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And Matt is in that movie. He's great in it. And that was born out of the friendship that was forged on Unplugging. And
now, so you were, you came up, you wrote and you produced and you're in this, and yet she did not take you along for this chip ride, it seems.
She invited me to a screening.
It's not
she
money.
invited me to a screening of Flamin' Hot, and I confronted her about it.
Good. I hope it was aggressive and concerning.
Tell me at the screening, I hope they were serving Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Otherwise, that is a missed opportunity.
Oh, seriously?
They did. They did it, and they did it the right way. It was an exit.
Nice.
Gift.
Yeah, you don't want cheese
Because
fingers
I think ultimately,
everywhere.
yeah.
That is always,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. It's the
It is an
21st
exit.
century. We've got all of these new advancements, and yet those types of snack food, whether it be Cheetos or specifically Flaming Hot, it is astonishing how fucking messy they are, how they get everywhere. Yeah. You can't have kids anywhere near them. You'd think they'd be able to fix that right now. I want a movie on that guy.
The guy who comes up with the thing that makes it safer. Oh, yeah.
I don't see how
I
that's
think
that hard.
We're in the age of we're in the age of sort of business porn as entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible.
Well, I was listening to a really delightful, our local radio station, radio and TV, I suppose, WGN thing that you and Matt did to promote the movie. And I believe it was you, because it's a very you thing to say, that even though that you guys filmed this in the middle of a pandemic, and obviously there's a million restrictions therein involved when you do something like that, you also did it in Oklahoma, and you called that a COVID progressive state. How did that make things maybe a little easier?
Oh, it made it much easier, because if you don't believe in something occurring, then you can get a lot of things done. Yeah, they're not. They let's just put it this way: our COVID safety officers were a really nice older couple who rarely were wearing masks themselves.
Nice.
So,
That is amazing.
but they also baked a lot of homemade cookies, and he gave me a Tulsa Drillers hat. That's the minor league team there, and everyone was very kind and great. And I had a great time in Oklahoma. In fact, I had so much fun that I was saying, like, I could live in Tulsa. I really like the city. There's great food and bars and music and arts. And then I came back to California after that, and people were like, Tulsa's got a lot of ghosts, man. That's a really weird thing to say that you'd want to live in that place. And I was like,
Ghosts?
I feel like we've got ghosts everywhere. I don't know, ghosts of Injustice Past.
Oh,
really
I see what you're saying. Oh, gotcha.
It's really it's harder and harder to be a person who's not on the outer fringes of opinion all the time. So
You're so right. Not to mention, I look at places where racial injustice pass, where they're rife with it. I look at that like I look at old real estate. As my brother always says, whenever someone's like looking around in a pre-war building and they're like, hey, did anything bad happen here? Someone die here? He's like, if it's over 20 years old, something bad happened here and somebody died here. Just look at all of New York, all of America as old real estate as far as that is concerned.
yeah, they were. I was making my defense of Tulsa as literally they were exhuming corpses from the Black Wall Street massacre every day on the news, and I was kind of like, yeah, this might be a weird time to be making my big swing about how Tulsa is the best.
Yeah, there was some sort of anniversary or something going on there.
Getting back to the movie real quick.
Yes.
We saw in the trailer a raccoon.
Oh, there.
Now I got to know, Oklahoma. How are the PETA protests in Oklahoma? How did that work out filming with a raccoon? Is it CGI'd? What can you tell us?
Had I known we were going to talk about the raccoon, I would have sent you guys some video.
Oh, no.
It's really fun to write animals into shows and movies or babies, but specifically animals. And then you forget about it, and then you're prepping, and then you show up, and then you're like, why is that raccoon climbing up the tree, and why is he refusing to come back down? And yeah, there were not any PETA protesters, but that raccoon probably set us back 6 to 8 hours for sure.
Wow.
I can't imagine. They're the most vile, horrible creatures known to man. Their hands are far too human looking. That alone.
Here's what's amazing though, is the handler. And by the way, if you think the animals are weird, animal handlers are the strangest humans that we have to offer in the animal kingdom. But because these people live with pumas and small miniature mules and things like that, and koalas. This raccoon went up there and they kept trying to bait it down with some food or little clicky noises and things. And finally, the raccoon just had enough, and I think it got tired. It was trying to climb up even higher, and it lost its grip and just fell from a huge top of a huge tree. And the handler just gets underneath the tree and just touches it like it's a loaf of bread. And we were all losing our minds.
That
we thought
is...
we were gonna, and that PETA would have had a problem with that, but they have such a rapport.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Was he not nocturnal?
The handler or the?
I guess both. Was it because that's the thing? Like raccoons as pets, which by the way, people, here's my PSA for the day: don't have a raccoon as a pet. But I have the people that have them, which goes against how their DNA make them not nocturnal. Like they live during the day.
Raccoons are not. Yeah, raccoons are not great animals in general. Matt, let's see. Eva was really comfortable with all the animals. She was born and raised on a ranch and in Texas, and we've been working with animals and getting dirty since she was 4 years old. Matt, is from Downers Grove, and he is a suburb of Chicago, and he had to be in that truck cab with Leah and Eva and the raccoon, and Matt was like getting allergic. He was getting very nervous. So I felt bad for Matt.
I do not blame him. That just sounds, whatever he was paid, it wasn't enough.
How did you first become friendly with Matt? Were you on Veep for a bit? I never know because I watch
He's been in, like,
so many
everything.
shows, and I'm like, oh, there's our friend.
Yeah, I have a really small part on Veep, and here's a fun fact about me. I auditioned for the role of Jonah, and I can't imagine anyone but Tim Simons playing Jonah.
Yeah.
It's one of those roles where you're like, it's like people talk about, oh, did you know that Patrick Duffy was almost the Fonz? It's like, I don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, that is, it makes your head blow up.
Yeah, so no, but Matt I knew from before Veep, but we did bond a bit in Baltimore when I was finally did go do a few days of work down there on it, and because the Bears had a Monday night game, so he had let's see, Kevin Dunn and me and Sam Richardson and Tim Simons and a few other people over to his apartment in the residence in there. There was a Bears Monday night game, and Matt said he was making homemade chili, but I realized later when I threw something out that he had a bunch of Whole Foods containers, and he basically just had doctored up some pre-made chili.
Wow.
And I give him a lot of shit about that.
I don't trust a man like that.
But he no, I got to know Matt actually because we both came out of Chicago, but was gone years before. I didn't know him there, but he had me come on to a podcast he used to do in LA and do a lot of weird characters and improvise and all that. So that's how I got to know Matt. And then he and Scott Armstrong, who's another writer director, and I would go to see the Bears on the road, which Bill and Joe, you're also invited. But Bill, you should do the next time we do it. It kind of got waylaid because of COVID, but we went to New Orleans once, we went to Phoenix, we went to Las Vegas, and we would see the Bears for one road game. Super duper fun.
I'm absolutely in.
Matt is the greatest, and we have other stuff we're working on together, and he's a great talent and just a good dude.
Well, as usual, Joanne asks better questions because it never even occurred to me to ask you how you had first met him, because I guess I just assumed it was a Second City connection.
He's not a Second City guy. So he's one of the founders of.
I'm an idiot.
He's one of the founders of. He might have been in the touring company, but he and Amy Poehler and Matt Besser.
Upright.
And Ian Roberts all founded Upright Citizens Brigade, and they were all ex-Chicago Improv Olympic and Second City touring company members. But yeah, we're from different generations, but we also know some of the, like when an old teacher from the Chicago improv community dies, which happens every year now, we all know the same people, but we weren't there at the same time.
You, I believe, we're going all over the place here. The famous Svengali, head of Second City for years and years, Del, what was his last name?
Close.
Close.
Del Close. You see, you guys both know this stuff. He was still alive, and you were there when he was still alive, correct?
Technically, I was in my level 1 classes while he was dying. So the owner of the theater, Sharna Halpern, would start our classes every week with stories about Del. And then I actually went to a seance for Del after he died, which was
only you.
Interesting. I think that was my only seance.
I assume it did convince you that seances are a thing.
It was so good or so bad?
I was having beers. It was fine. I don't think any connection was made. I can't say it made me less of a believer because I was already pretty skeptical. But what's funny is that you're doing, like, improvisers are a specifically weird blend of both like open-minded and deeply skeptical. So a seance kind of is right down the middle of those things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a lot of us wanting something to be happening and also being dead sure that nothing was happening.
That's the worst part. See, like, I am, of course, a skeptic, but I want it to be all true desperately. Like anyone, anytime someone says, "Oh, here's photographic proof of a poltergeist in the White House lobby" or something like that, I'm the first one to Google on it, and I see, I don't know, this is the first thing I thought of, but I'm the first one to click on it. I believe they call it bait. And, of course, you're disappointed. It's just a smudge on a fucking lens or something like that. Well, listen, thank you so much, as always. Give us any other plugs, promotions that we missed.
I don't know that, just, doing performing again, which is fun out in LA. So for people that don't mind the high taxes and they find their way through here, they can find me on Instagram. So maybe I'll promote it on Twitter, but live shows and, yeah, just a bunch of things in development that will probably stay there forever and take far too long to get paid for.
You paint a dismal, dismal picture of that there industry you work in.
Hey, but at least it's sunny here all the time.
There it is. There.
It's raining again.
You weren't
right.
kidding.